always joked about, even with the AFK roster, about how Weekend always initiates. And even on Circuit, we actually saw him initiate quite often. He always looped around that back end, blinks in, and if he didn't force beads, he would always just last breath a player, locking them in place and then throwing them towards the team. So Weekend, great showing coming out from him this game.
Well, game 1 in the books, game 2 pending, guys. Let's go ahead and get this one rolling right into picks and bans for game number 2. AFK Cloud9. How will Cloud9 respond? They will by taking the first pick in game 2. They seemed comfortable there. Will it be the first pick Bologna again? It was good for Baskin.
Yeah,
but,
it worked out. I mean,
getting here lane camped, it just was tough. It didn't really pan out for him.
Yeah, and I'd like to see Annister make a much bigger impact in this game because the big thing is they just left Baskin out to dry, and the only thing they ever got in response was that early Gold Fury to just even the game. And then after that, Baskin, I mean, he had so much pressure on his lane, only fell really once to it, and then Annister really wasn't making any plays elsewhere to make up for that.
Same bans from Cloud9.
No surprise.
Will we expect the same bans from AFK? Maybe the Geb ban this time from them. They may Cloud9 could first pick that potentially, or AFK could just take it. I mean, they may ban the Bologna as well.
Yeah, typically when Cloud9
Pwash again
has Geb or Sylvanas up, they'll take Sylvanas, but you never know.
Pwash, I mean, even after getting those nerfs where his ult no longer slows, still seeing some bans against one of the premier mid laners.
This may be something that Kiki's just not comfortable playing against.
Or Kiki, so many of his gods are healers.
That's true too.
First pick Bologna again out of Cloud9 here. And we saw what it could do for Baskin. Probably going his way again. As we were saying, we want to see Annister on a high-impact god. At Bologna, it's much more difficult. It's much kind of you have a smaller kind of opportunity out of the jungle in Bologna to really make a huge impact now. Definitely, I would say the stronger solo laner for me. Maybe even as a support, a bit stronger than her jungle.
Yeah, no surprise here to see Geb Freya locked in again. So far, it's been the run back. AFK, they won that in a very dominating fashion. They're definitely not going to change that dual lane up. Though this time, I'd like to see Cloud9 not go towards the Arachne. It's something that I'm assuming they've been practicing and they wanted to put pressure out, but they didn't get any pressure. But they will stick with the Ymir, which had some sizable impact early, and there was a lot of good wall combinations with the on her Ymir, and that's an impact god you want to see Annister on.
The Thunder and the Lightning. But Hades in response. What a great pick into the Thor.
I mean, that was a snap pick.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, of course. You see Thor, you're like, okay, Silence is amazing against Berserker Barrage. Silence is amazing against Mjolnir Attunement. And if he ever initiates, so do I. And, LOL.
It's a big front line too, just like Osiris. So,
but this may be this is probably mid lane.
You really think so?
Yes, I really think so.
I mean, we've seen Stealth play it, but not really too many other players.
I will never, ever, ever believe that AFK Gaming will not select Cyclone Spin's God last.
It's a possibility. They actually first picked.
There he is, guys.
Fenrir.
Not only is he the next god, he also banned twice.
Okay. So we actually don't know who that counter ban is.
No, but
you can blame Hi-Rez Dan in chat if you're watching.
No, come on. You blame Adonis.
No, come on.
It's
always blame Adonis. I don't even work in production anymore.
It doesn't
matter. I
matter.
don't admin the games either.
It doesn't matter.
So there's Circuit, which worked very well last game, putting a lot of pressure on the Baskin. That's going to be selected again, but this time Annister, he's going to have Thor. While the direct matchup, it really comes down to, can you taunt out Berserker's Barrage with Madness? It's going to be great for counter-initiating if we can continue to try and put that pressure on.
Yeah, they both have a ton of control. Poseidon was that ban on the side of Cloud9 G2A instead of the second Fenrir.
We might see the full run back. Actually, no, Isis was banned. Just kidding.
Isis was banned and Thor was selected.
Well, I mean, I was going to say outside of Thor.
You're stretching, Kevin.
I am stretching.
Hey, haven't seen him in a while, and surprised he's not banned either. Giannis.
This was actually one of Stealth's best gods in the summer split. I believe he went 6-0 with it.
Most players that have had best... It's like Isis or Giannis are kind of been their two top-performing gods, I'd say.
I'd say so, but actually we're going to see the Osiris go back, and you were right. It's going to be Hades in the mid lane.
Kiki turning over a new leaf here in Split 3.
What new leaf is that? Playing male gods?
Yeah.
He played Finn. Well,
I mean, playing male gods aside, I mean, that kind of being a joke, but haven't seen any Hades out of him. Haven't seen any Poseidon out of him.
Yeah, typically we're seeing... It's funny, too, right? A lot of times everyone has their standard gods, and then the solo lane is really that fill in the blank. It's, what do we want to do with our team comp? We'll have our solo laner play the flex pick, but really, AFK seems to have 2 of those players. Kiki playing Chang'e, Fenrir, Hades, Isis, Athena, plays all the possibilities in the middle lane, and AFK makes great use out of it. And that also allows Cyclone to play whatever he wants.
I can't imagine that Stealth is going to lose this lane. Like this, Hades is one of his like trademark gods. He can't lose to it, certainly.
I mean, put it this way. He's not going to lose to it. Like, he's not going to die, but it's Hades. You're fighting into a wall.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to be able to outpush him unless your jungler push pressure on. And it's also going to be a huge matchup against Thor, right? And the more we think about it, Anister really enjoys, I wouldn't say camping mid, but he plays in the middle lane a lot. And that's actually all junglers. That Hades in the soul lane may not get the big effectiveness against Thor until we start to see the soul laners rotate, but stick him in the mid, and I mean, he's always going to be engaging with Thor. That's going to be a huge boon. It's going to be hard for Cloud9 to fight into that.
Yeah, it'll always be a threat. Not going to go for the purple pot start on the Hades. It'll be a Vamp Shroud. And just traditional pot. Or maybe he popped it in the well. You think he popped it in the well? Did Kiki?
Probably. What's the math on that? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he did.
He definitely, yeah, he has it. He's glowing purple.
Yeah.
He has a red buff purple pot. Hades. Ow.
96 power at level 1.
Yeah, and actually, I mean, he's chunking these Harpies with his auto attacks.
And he starts at the Harpies. Oh, my.
That's going to be level 2 for him very quickly.
Yeah, but LC Stealth goes for the traditional start and is level 2 and farms a whole wave. Kiki. Once again, Brandon. Maybe it wasn't safe to come out from under the desk. I'm sorry.
And it's rotating over in Cloud9. They're going to have the timers on both Harpies this time, so a slight XP and gold lead for them early on, sitting at about 300, which does matter once you get boots online, or when you can get boots online.
Oh, every in-hand is really, really, really hurts.
And I will always say, the best Hades players are the ones that can hit auto attacks. They're the only ones, or they're the reason that Hades works, because his auto attacks, they will start to chunk. I mean, all mage auto attacks do, but the fact that you can take these trades, heal up off the wave, and still get these free auto attacks, and I almost think like it's a mental block for players. You're like, I'm taking a mage auto attack. Yeah. It really doesn't hurt, but they add up very quickly once you start hitting 3, 4, 5 a wave.
Yep, and yeah, any Hades players out there know. I mean, his cooldowns are basically abysmally long. Like everything is like 14 to 16 seconds. So you have a lot of downtime from your spells. What I'm getting at. His DPS just goes to nothing too. But the first gank going to come in on the left lane, Jeff Hindley.
He's done.
He is very done.
One more auto attack, and Weekend actually will secure that. So electing to give it to Weekend, not going to take it or give it to Ally there, and the dual lane starting in a bad start.
Yeah, the opposite of what we saw last time. In fact, Kevin, Brandon, Tom, whoever you are.
I do not look like either of them.
Yeah, you do.
I'm not even close to Brandon.
Wow, what are you saying? Oh, wow. Allied. We missed that one as Stealth. He goes moving over. Thought he was going to try to make the plays instead. It's not enough to bail out his
Stealth in a bad spot.
And yeah, Stealth, he finds himself in a bad spot too. Cloud9, they're feeding. Are they going to feed this? I think they are.
I mean,
it all comes down to mirror. Yes. Cloud9, they lose their support, then they lose their hunter, and then their mid lane uses an ultimate, rotates all the way over to die as well. Wow, that sucks. Yeah, they're in a bad spot now.
I mean, Weekend stuck around in this dual lane, and Barry could have just got a little bit baited into it. He doesn't have beads this early on. He got quickly comboed, stealth ults over, and I don't know if he was trying to ult Barracuda out, but based on the positioning of that ult, he was trying to re-engage. He comes in, misses his abilities, and then AFK are able to turn it on him and pick up him as well. And AFK Gaming off to a good start. Cloud9 looking real rough.
Yeah, I mean, they have all of this like global initiation, the Thor and the Giannis, and the ability to pull characters around. Anis are going to show that off over in the right side lane as he gets his first successful gank onto Cyclone Spin.
That's big.
Yeah, that's huge that Bologna is able to get that first kill there. Baskin. Success.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, don't allow Baskin to camp this time. Allow him to stay even, because he was even with Cyclone Spin for quite some time in Game 1. But the second he died and AFK got that Gold Fury, we saw the 4 level difference. And 2 minutes later, it's very important to not let Cyclone Spin get that big and keep your solo laner relevant to him.
Top right side of the map here, it's going to be an invade. Thor and Bologna. You can see the rest of Cloud9, they're kind of biding their time at this mid camp. Incon's going to move forward. He's going to miss the Cataclysm and the Blink. So a small win. Small wins for AFK, but a win nonetheless. Andinster,
did he get
they're unable to know. They did not. Cyclone Spin puts out too much pressure, and he'll take his blue buff right back.
Weekend, too. He's looping under. There's no vision on this.
This is bad. Andinster feeling himself a little bit too much, Kevin. I think he got it right on the mark. He's going to Mjolnir 2 minutes ahead, but the taunt is there. Beads right away, but there's a last gasp, or last breath, I'm sorry. And he's dead too. And it gets a return kill, but he will not get the XP credit for it as he is dead.
And that's what you're talking about, though. You know, or excuse me, not Arachne. Serket, not the best god at diving. Limited HP pool if he tanks tower. And one thing about Last Breath is it locks you in place. Yeah. So he took 2 free tower shots because of that, but I guess they're going to take that trade out. Weekend sitting at 2-1 and 2, 2-1 and 0 on the other side.
But yeah, I guess some space created there. Allied, he was forced out of the lane. He goes back to finish off his Fatalis. Barracuda farms up a good bit. He'll go back and finish off his Devo's gloves. So able to recover a little bit there as Barracuda now. He'll hit roughly the same timing. He's half a level behind, though, as he goes back to base a bit later.
Yeah, and Baskin, I mean, even with that assist to his Dame, is actually still behind Cyclone Spin. Not by much, but I mean, it really seems like that kill that Anister put onto that Soul Lane didn't matter at all.
And you saw that in that last graph there, actually leading by quite a bit in the last hit department is on her over Freya, but Freya with that kill to her credit, still leading in the net worth.
And he has Fatalis online as well. Allied really loves this god, and he doesn't elect to go boots. He goes straight into that Fatalis. Enough movement speed, he doesn't have to worry about the damage or dying, really. So it's a big pickup.
Yeah, it's like we were kind of saying, that yesterday when we saw that like 40 last hit advantage, it really was meaningful, but you can see just how, 20 or so is really overdone by a kill. Barely making out of this one alive is weakened for now. In comes Giannis. It's a 4-man
lot
rotation.
Of missed abilities.
And yeah, this could be bad though, because Cyclone Spin is wreaking havoc in the back line. Kiki's going to rotate in as well. They'll get a full duration ultimate out. Jeff Hinla is already down. And now Incon able to hold the front line, get the last second knock up there, and in comes the Osiris. They're going to try to take 2 here. Stealth is going to move through. Looks like they're going to give up on that one. Kiki not going to be able to make it in time. A bit too speedy. And yeah, they'll end up dropping both of these kills unless Cycle can hit this Sickle, I'm sorry. No, he can't. Kiki, those cooldowns, as we said, they're long old cooldowns on Hades. He can't dive the tower again. Allied, however, back on the left side, pressuring Barracuda. But Kuda dealing with this nicely.
Weekend actually going in. He's actually might be able to find someone here. He does get slowed by the portal. And actually, Stealth, he walked back in. His last breath going to be enough. One more tick. Oh, he's actually, not going to immune
doesn't work that way. Nice thought, though.
He tried.
Yeah, I mean, in between, you can die to dot damage, and of course, being that it is true damage.
So the big thing about that engagement, I mean, I know it's been about 45 seconds since it started, is Cloud9 missed everything.
Yeah,
I mean, Roman Evicta was missed, Scourge was missed, Freeze was missed, Wall was missed, Mjolnir's Attunement was missed. Cloud9, and then Thor's ult as well, actually missed almost every single ability in that fight, and they were so deep. AFK able to rotate and pick up a couple kills.
Struggling a bit is Cloud9 versus their longtime nemesis. I think it's a little too early to make an assessment about their state here with Baskin going up against arguably the strongest team, although they did lose at LAN to Cloud9 with a different roster, a different solo laner. But Cloud9, they don't seem to be really executing at their old state at the moment, at least in this game. They've, like you just mentioned, you just outlined some mistakes that they've made. And in game 1, I mean, there's a little bit of sloppy play there. And they kind of failed to see the pressure that was coming out onto the mid lane. And MLC Stealth took a bunch of deaths on Isis. And when you go for that purple pot Isis start, you kind of are committing your team a little bit, especially the jungler, to protecting a bit. And the draft with the Arachne, it's so early game oriented. It's so aggressive early game oriented. Arachne can't do much to that diving Serket. And yeah, it's a lot of time. That's why you see Serket banned a lot.
Yes.
There's not a lot of junglers that can really handle initiating, countering, and initiating against her. It's basically like Kabrakan is maybe one of the better ones.
Yeah, for a lot, especially
Amir, Kabrakans. I mean, tanky, hard CC, basically machines are the only thing to deal with her.
Gods that can lock her down and survive her burst.
Right.
You need to be able to do both of those, which very few can.
Yeah, Serket really getting the long end of the stick out of the design pool. Two hard CCs and 2 movement abilities.
Taking a look here, Anister going to try and put some pressure onto Cyclone Spin, but Cyclone Spin just going to be backing. Nope, just going to bait it there. Incon, though, he knows what's going on. He's going to hang around, and I don't think Anister knows that Incon's here. And they're actually going to try and gank Cyclone Spin. His ult is activated. There's Geb Shield.
Yeah, they didn't know Incon was there, as you mentioned, and that really is going to make a big difference. But here comes Hinla. Hinla's going to be able to freeze Incon if he wants it. Yeah,
I don't think
they can follow up here. He'll just chip away at the Guardian. Rotation's not coming yet. Giannis doing a nice job. I mean, it's really hard to out-rotate there. Even if Kiki goes, Giannis can make it there before him, even with like about a 30-second head start. So that's pretty much that. Hades will shade over to the right side, probably just to cover the lane for the moment. Let's take a look at the teleport towers. Yeah, 15 more seconds for Cyclone to teleport to tower.
Yep, and taking a look at builds here, though, we actually we haven't really seen too many max cooldown builds coming out from Giannis's this split. And it used to be the go CDR boots, Go Chronos pendant.
It's because there's pen now.
But now, yeah, the pin back on the boots, we're starting to see that rise. There's just too much damage that you don't want to miss out, especially early on.
Especially against Hades.
Yes.
Like, I could see, you going for the cooldown boots in a lot of matchups as Giannis, but not this one. I mean, Hades is just too tanky. His natural scaling is just going to be a big pain. I mean, you look at the magical defense there. It's 30 magical defense on MOC Stealth at the base. Can we actually go to Hades quickly, please? Kiki, 41 magical defense. And, 11 points of defense, that's not a small amount of mitigation at this point. And he also has the physical defenses as well. And it's just, that's the nature of Guardians in the mid lane. Even ones that are basically all the way mages, like Hades.
Yeah, and actually, Stealth actually gets knocked back. He's in a real bad spot. He might have to ult out. We actually see him getting dove by Cirquette right now. This could be a big trouble for Stealth unless he's able to ult out. There it goes. But he's actually going to get caught out by Cyclone Spin. There's the tether, and he actually is going to get stunned, but barely makes it through his portal. And Stealth just barely walking out of that. A lot of things expensed, though.
That would have been a lot less dicey had he had the cooldown boots, the pen boots. But still, player skill able to make that one work for him. Cataclysm on the back line from Incon. That's really mostly to bail out Weak and use the stone shield there as well. Incon trying to dodge the hits from the Scourge. Kiki in quite a bit of trouble. The CC chain is good from Andenster and Jeff Hinla. And yeah, great freeze from Hinla there to keep them in line. And that's a big kill for them to get. Blinking forward nicely there is Weaken. He actually, I think, baited Barracuda. He saw them coming on the rotation there.
Yeah, it's baited, but I don't think there was a benefit to him baiting it at all. He actually, if he got pillar stuns, Barracuda might have been able to ult and finish him before that stun
Always
ended.
important to style, Kevin.
That's true. Especially in Cloud9 versus AFK, right?
Yeah, I mean,
you always got to style.
You got to be stylish.
If you style in a, in a 1 seed to an 8 seed match, it's not as.
I think at the end of these games now, we need to have a heat meter for how hot the plays were. That was a pretty hot play.
Big play raise.
Big play raise. Big play of the day.
Please make it happen. Actually, Weaken though, he's going to put some more pressure onto this dual lane. His blink is down though. We saw him use it in mid lane, and in response, he's just going to go continue to farm. And Weaken though has been putting so much pressure on these lanes. Not so much the solo lane this game. That's really been Andenster's gig, but Weaken putting a lot of presence onto Stealth and onto Barracuda.
Giannis.
And top farm as well. Not something we don't typically see.
It's been a long time since seeing that, yeah.
Yeah, Weaken doesn't sit at the top farm very often.
Oh, junglers don't sit at the top farm very often. Both of our junglers here are 3-1 though.
Yep, doing a lot.
Yeah, Thor, he's gone back a little bit earlier. He's also invested a bit less into actives. That's why he has his Jotun's Wrath online already. But yeah, there's the teleport for the Thor. That is a little janky, I think.
I mean,
and that's I like Cirquette's idea a little bit more here, right? I mean, I understand the advantages of the teleport, and obviously Andenster is one of maybe 3 or 4 of the best Thors in the world, as Jeff Hinla's getting gone in on here. I think he's dead to the poison.
Oh, not able to get out of the portal.
It actually didn't pop, though, luckily enough. That could have gone into stealth there and really caused some problems. Allied, he's going to try to man-fight the whole world here. Back up into the Valkyrie's discretion here. Does he have the Stone Shield cooldown? He's trying to bail out Kiki.
That was
brilliant placement there.
fantastic.
Just amazing stuff there.
Stealth actually, he's going to fight into the shield as well. Allied able to stay alive just for a little bit and pick up a return kill. And I have to give all the credit to Allied on that one. I mean, the presence of mind to hold Valkyrie's discretion for so long. No, I mean, he was fighting in a Berserker barrage, and he waited that long.
That's all Kiki for me. I mean, Freya's dead. I mean, they reinitiate there, no problem. But if not for the fact that Hades comes in with just the perfect silence, AFK Gaming nicely secures that into the Bologna coming in. Baskin will sacrifice his life for an attempt at the bounty out of that gold for just around a little over 1,000 at this point. And yeah, I mean, that silence was just so good. The silence into the ultimate. It forced Giannis to kind of, I will say, like panic portal, right? He wasn't able to move forward and aggress into the Freya, where he had another unstable Vortex and could have gotten that kill potentially.
Well, no, he did. He hit the unstable Vortex, but the Geb shield was still on.
Right. Well, that was all the time created by the Hades. Again, I mean, it's Kiki, damn it.
I don't know.
Credit where credit's due. No, you're right. You're right.
It was both.
Allied making the call there to move forward and fight into those 3 members, and knowing that he could bait them out with Valkyrie's discretion. Maybe it's just AFK is good at Smite.
AFK is very good.
AFK, I think that's really what we're getting at here. AFK very good at Smite, and now you'll see it echoed in the fact that Incon has overtaken and is switching back and forth actually with Andy in farm, who is the top net worth on the side of Cloud9. Once again, AFK having their way.
Yeah, with that Gold Fury, I mean, with almost a full team wipe and then a Gold Fury, AFK is in full control of this one. About a 4K gold lead right now, and Barracuda, he's going to try and fight Allied, but this has just really been a slap fight in this dual lane, this, Hunter versus Mage matchup.
You know, I wonder, there's always that kind of, when a player leaves your team versus kicking a team, kicking a player from a team, there's just a big difference in terms of how that works out, I think, internally for the squad. We're going to see initiation here. He will get his spells off, though, before he goes down. Anister's up in the sky. He may tick down still.
He won't go
to
back
the last
in.
breath. He can't go back in. Yeah, he's still losing HP. You can see just how low he is. Lash out of Valkyrie's discretion, not enough to kill. And we'll see he's going to get a nice bit of damage. Allied threads the needle there. But as I was saying, Omega left versus them kicking Omega. I think when you kick Omega, the team has come together and said, okay, we're going to remove this player versus why did he leave? And honestly, they seem a little bit unsure of themselves, I want to say.
Definitely. And I mean, he left Cloud9 for Eager.
Right,
No shots at Eager, but I mean, Cloud9 won the World Championship. They've been a top 2 to 3 North American team since their inception at the launch tournament. I mean, this is a team you don't leave. This is a team you get kicked off, if anything, and he takes it and he goes to the 5th seed in North America. I mean, Omega was definitely not feeling something on this roster.
Now, the good news for Cloud9, Barracuda, Anister. I mean, really Barracuda and Stealth, I think, they're just really, really nice guys.
Yeah, they're sweethearts.
I think that they will be able to build the team chemistry back quickly, and they seem really, really excited about Baskin. And
a lot of players have been very excited about Baskin.
Yeah, so, this is probably their hardest matchup. They seem to do a bit better against TSM, this Cloud9 squad, than they do against this AFK.
This was not the team they wanted to face in Week 1.
Not yet.
With the new roster,
That's right. Definitely not.
If they faced, some of the lower teams, I think they'd be much better, but a huge engagement on the left side. Incon, he's going to fall. Anister actually going to land on Weekend trying to counter-engage. This is a big fight for Cloud9, already taking out 2.
Could be getting himself in some trouble here. Kiki, he's taking quite a bit of damage.
His dash is down.
Ultimate. Yeah, he realizes he has to. He's dead to rights anyway. Might as well get the damage out and the bonus protections out of using Pillar of Agony. Allied. Oh.
His ult was up, and he held it. He actually had 2 players dead to rights if he was able to get that Valkyrie's discretion off, but not respecting the damage coming out from C9.
So as much as we're saying Cloud9 seems to be losing a bit of momentum here, they make a very, very strong play. They show us some of that global initiation power. And the 4 core from this team, the original 4 members here, they get a lot done. I think they can take this tier 2, yeah.
Oh, yeah, for
2
sure.
members back, though.
I mean, Cyclone Spin's going to be here. No, not with Cyclone Spin and the rest of them backing. They're going to get it to about half, but I think the big thing in that last fight was Anister coming crashing down and killing Weekend before Weekend was able to make any impact. I mean, Weekend was trying to do the loop around, which he's been very successful with these past 2 matches, but Anister completely shutting that down, and Cloud9 as a whole turning on him and finishing him off.
Have they adapted? Yeah, I mean, have they kind of figured out maybe downloaded at least what AFK wants to do? Perhaps it's looking good for Cloud9 now as we reach the 17-minute mark. No Gold Fury since the last one was taken. She'll be back up in about a minute. And Fire Giant, he's doing quite nicely for himself.
Yep, 1,500 gold, 1,500 experience. This is a dead even game right now. Player damage, though, taking a look. Allied topping it, but I think most of that is a lot of the boxing he's been doing with Barracuda. A lot of fake damage, as Brandon would say.
Oh, yes. The very worst of all of the euphemisms in SMITE. Maybe in a bit of trouble here, Cyclone Spin? No, of course not.
He's so tank. I mean, he's got Mystical Mail, and he's got Runeforged online as well. I mean, he's not taking any damage.
Yeah, that's Smithy's Hammer contributing quite a bit.
Or Smithy's, yeah. Not Runeforged yet.
Not yet.
It's working. It's getting up there, though.
I think might as well be done. I mean, the rank 2 of that item is really, really powerful.
So one thing I do want to talk about, though, speaking of builds, is Kiki. He has this Warlock stash. It's only, is that 11 stacks? Yeah.
I think, is that 11 or 31?
I was debating that, too. But
I think it's 31.
Sure is it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we'll go with 31. So most of the stats on this Warlock stash aren't up front, unlike Book of Thoth, unlike a lot of these other power items. But we actually are going to see Baskin getting ganked here meanwhile. But yeah, so it's going to be really important for Kiki to start stacking that up. But with all the team fighting going on, I think it's going to be pretty hard for him to get that rolling and get that to max stacked before even the 30-minute mark.
So tell me, Kevin, if you will, a little bit about the adjustment here on the side of AFK. Game 1, we see Cyclone Spin on the Osiris, we see Weekend on the Circuit, and we see them diving Baskin's Bologna constantly. Game 2, they've more or less ignored this right side lane.
Because they didn't really get...
Except for now. They're diving him now.
Except for now, but they didn't really get anything off of it, and I think it took them, 4 or 5 gank tips to even kill Baskin, and then they lost the Gold Fury in response. After that first Gold Fury fell, they didn't put as much pressure on him, but Cloud9 actually going to sneak a Gold Fury in the meantime.
That was close.
Allied actually going to try and fight into this, and C9, they're going to pop Shell, they're going to try and get out, but Kiki's going to blink in. Nice freeze by Jeff Hindler to slow down the attack, though.
But look how much the Hades forces them to break this team fight up. Cloud9 trying to disengage, doing a nice job. That wall should secure
Fantastic
it. Yeah, indeed.
Wall.
Well done. Well done, Andy. And yeah, he'll prevent any deaths coming his way. But yeah, they kited Kiki really nicely there. He wasn't able to secure spells on more than 2 targets that entire time. He had a moment there where maybe he could have gotten a 3 or 4-man silence, but it was only able to hit the 2 as they kited away from him.
They need to give this up. I mean, this tier 1 isn't worth too much, but they're actually going to fight into Kiki. This is not a good look. Baskin already under half, and he's going to crash down, though. Allied, he's holding his ult. One more, and he's going to die. The portal should do it. Huge Pillar of Agony, though, and Anderson's locked in place.
Allied, yeah, ult was down, actually, in that engagement. But now it doesn't look like Cloud9 is too thrilled about re-engaging here. They may be able to pick off Incon. They will indeed. And we'll see Stealth extra credit for a kill there as well on the backside of that. They'll take 4 down. Only Cyclone Spin remaining, so.
Stealth, yeah, 1 at a time.
Nicely done.
Cloud9 looking much better, and actually Stealth is going to go real aggressive. Portal into the back of the tower, but the rest of C9 electing to back off.
Yeah, turn this game right back around. Now holding the experience advantage to the tune of 4,000. 1,600 gold as well. I think they're kind of faking Fire Giant, or are they going to try this? Oh my, they're going to try this big question mark here.
I mean, I think they're baiting Cyclone Spin here. They're definitely waiting for him. One wall. I mean, his ult is up, though. He should be able to get out of this freely, unless he can get Chain Seed down. And that's going to be it. Jeff Hindle takes the kill.
Once again, Fire Giant question mark? Indeed, this time. Barracuda, he's going to be the one tanking it up. Doesn't really have, well, I guess Execution Rickfile. Yeah, that's enough. He'll be able to tank this. He won't go down before the Fire Giant out DPSs him.
Oh, yeah,
Cloud9,
this is free.
El Gigante del Fuego, our favorite Spanish Norse fire god.
Cloud9, they're looking much better. Been doing a fantastic turnaround. Really won 2 big fights in a row, and I question their re-engage onto that middle lane, but really all of their team was able to close the gap very quickly and pick off players 1 at a time.
Oh, Stealth, he could be in a bit of trouble here, but Weekend does eat that Unstable Vortex on the way through. Ultimate used, and away he goes.
He has Chrono Spin. That'll be up relatively quickly, about 60 seconds. And I think that Cloud9's really going to just look to siege these towers. They're not going to look to commit too much to a fight. They don't really have a huge advantage. They'll find picks, or they'll take picks if AFK give it to them, but they're not looking for a huge 5-on-5 team fight right now.
And this is, you know, again, kind of going back to that Thor with the teleport. Like, it's teleport 1. He still hasn't bothered to upgrade it. And I guess he did get that tier 1 on the right side out of it. I mean, a little bit of rat coming out there, but... You know, is this item worth it at level 1 for this long? I just don't think so. I just don't see it. I mean, teleport to wards is so good, but if it's not worth investing the gold into to get that, then it's probably not worth the slot.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. It doesn't seem to be working out too much, but I mean, it's something that Anderson seems to like, and he's going to sit here and try and cut off Allied, and Allied actually forced to ult instantly. Was that his beads as well?
I think so.
His beads are down. They've been down. They're rank 1. So they're going to be up in about 30 more seconds. He's gonna, he might want to upgrade them before he's forced to use them at level 1 again.
Look at the Thor build up too on Andenster.
Yeah, I saw that. 3 hammers.
Yeah, the triple hammer. So a lot of HP. So he's going to go for a Titan's Bane then next. It's a damage-oriented Thor build. We haven't seen too much of that. Incon takes a ton of damage as he moves in, and now they're forced to fight on Jeff Hindle ultimate. He's got to pop it early. On the backside of that one, Thor is up and out. Stealth does get the kill on Incon though with the ultimate. And Weekend's hunting him, but MLC Stealth realizes that, and he'll run away back towards the mid lane.
They took the pick, but they're not really going to be able to pressure this tower at all. And right now, Weekend's actually going to look to find a pick, maybe? Kiki's going to blink in as well. Weekend just barely misses the madness. He actually could get turned on. One more auto or a crit from Barrow will finish him off, but Weekend is going to get out of that one.
Surging back now is Cloud9. They've healed back up. A couple targets banished there by Freya. Nice job. Allied. That'll slow them down ever so slightly, but he didn't get the wave, so it's not going to slow down. Oh my. Okay, MLC Stealth. He wants the kill, but he's going to die here.
I've seen that a lot from him, but it hasn't been working out too much. They're able to take the tier 2 tower, but without Stealth and Annenster just spawning, I mean, they're not going to really be able to push too much outside of this tier 1, I don't think.
I've seen that a lot from Zatman.
I have seen that a lot from Zatman. Is Stealth the mid of Zap?
Well, he just wasn't respecting the CC chain out of Circuit there. Even at level 2, he's just, I mean, look, he's pretty far ahead. Let's take a look at XP per minute, please, on MLC Stealth. Yeah, damn near 700. He would have been around 700 had he gotten that kill and was out there already. And that's the pace for about a level a minute. And yeah, so I think he was just feeling himself a little bit there. Thought he was the unstoppable god of time and space, where he is just truly the god of time and space.
No, not yet. He's not that big.
Well, he's got 4 items, and he's on his way. And they've got 8,888 experience. How often will you see that? And yeah, 5,500 gold, 5,400 gold.
There was 7,777 yesterday.
What a world we live in, Kevin. What a time to be alive.
Are we going to see 9,999 next game we cast?
There's some kind of 6 afraid of 7 Brandon joke here.
Oh my God.
I won't subject you to.
Probably is. Cloud9, Fire Giant still ticking for about 20 seconds. They're going to start this Gold Fury. And AFK, they look like they want to contest it. Allied and Incon.
Barracuda got a really, really fortunate second hit crit there that brought that Gold Fury down from 50% right on down. In goes Incon. He's not going to get the burst damage out that he's probably looking for, but he's going to force him off the mark for now. Desert Fury's blown in the backside as well. Incon in a lot of trouble. He gets pinned in, but he is that tanky Geb, and he does reduce those crits. He's going to use Stone Shield and try to roll out Kiki, channeling the ultimate to the backside. Cloud9 still able to focus down that Gold Fury. Nicely done through the damage of the Hades. He'll try to heal himself back up. Nothing cooking just yet. Allied, he's popped his ultimate and his force back as well. MLC Stealth still on the hunt for Freya. Freya realizes she's dead, tries to turn and fight, not going to make it in time. Cloud9 pick up another 2 kills and a Gold Fury here and have, well, the tables have turned. They're starting to look like AFK did in the last game, winning consecutive team fights through the mid-game, taking objectives, and dominating and forcing their will with all 5 members out-farming the side of AFK.
Yeah, Anitzer doing a fantastic job ulting into the backline of that fight, really locking down Allied and Weaken, not allowing them to get in and make big plays, and he just barely escaped with a little bit of health, and then after that, all of Cloud9 had already cleaned up Kiki, and they were able to find Allied and secure the Gold Fury.
Big difference here is Cyclone Spin hasn't been getting these free towers. Normally in this kind of situation, Cyclone Spin, that would have been a 45, and he would have taken the tier 1 and be halfway through the tier 2.
He hasn't been able to really get into these fights and make the big plays and big impact plays that we would normally expect from him.
Maybe that's the power of the Thor, Anitzer. Of that teleport Thor. I mean, you see it's on cooldown again, and again he joins that fight. Cyclone doesn't. Cyclone, though, with the teleport to wards even. Thor just so good at covering distance.
Yeah, and Anitzer's still not electing to upgrade it, but it seems that every time he's needed it, it's been up.
There, yeah.
Shifter Shield started from him. It's rank 2 right now. Something we've really only been seeing Anitzer build.
I saw it yesterday, too.
Yeah, who was that, though?
Whoever, they were absurdly far ahead, and that's why they got it. It wasn't Anitzer going for the super old school legacy Thor build, where you just build everything that's a hybrid item.
Yeah, I mean, outside of the Rune Forge, I mean, this was Season 1 Thor build. Cloud9, though, positioning for the Fire Giant. They're going to counter ward up.
No squids.
No squids allowed.
Incon, not using the AFK ward, using the squid.
Kiki trying to loop around back in. Actually, Cloud9 are going to start this up. They're baiting a fight, though. You can see none of them are really committed to it. Barracuda's going to take it if it's given to him, but he's actually taking a fair amount of poke. And Allied, though, Allied caught out.
Allied, he beads his way. He'll get the Geb Shield as well. They haven't done too much damage into the Geb Shield just yet. Serket, she disrupts the backline. Barracuda in a lot of trouble. In comes a Thor, though. Barracuda, he may tick down here. It's going to be quite close. Kiki channeling the ultimate there. It's going to keep Hinla locked down, but he's just so tanky here. Allied still getting engaged on the backside. He's going to fall through the portal. That may be enough for the kill. It is indeed MLC Stealth still kiting around the outside of this fight. Kiki, he's looking pretty healthy here, even though he is disarmed. Not going to get the Blight Stack, starting to fall quickly. Going to get the Death Roll low and disengage for now. Cyclone Spin, he's going to hold the front line, but Stealth is hunting. Stealth with the Blink, he's going to have enough to kill Kiki there. Nice continued initiation as Anitzer now starts to fall, but Berserker Barrage is quite a bit on the weekend. Everything going to miss. There's the ambush to get away. Oh, what a Stone Shield coming out from Incon to save the jungler there. Stealth hit him with that Unstable Vortex, and it was almost enough to get the kill. But no Fire Giant is going to be going the way of either team just yet. And it ends up being just 2 kills going the way of Cloud9.
Yeah, big play for Cloud9 there, but they're not able to really get a huge advantage. They're not able to basically get enough of an advantage to start up that Fire Giant. A couple players too low, but Stealth there, weaving in and out of the fight, picking up those kills was really critical. Not only did Weaken put a lot of pressure onto him, but...
So, you remember, I was making jokes about the Squid Ward, and then they warded in the exact same spot again. And it was countered by the same sentry. Now it's just the tanky frontliners on the side of AFK trying to stop this. You can see Weaken farming in the backside. This means they do not want to contest. It's starting to get quite low. Is the Fire Giant, 3,000 HP remaining. Barracuda, is he going to leash it? Barracuda, please. Now he's going to continue fighting. I think he'll be able to secure this. No one's going to be able to make it in time. Incon wants to blink. Someone get him in combat. They didn't. Amiros was used too early. AFK's going to steal that away. Cyclone Spin coming in over the top. It was just a misplay from Cloud9. They had it completely. Oh no, and Incon, he rolls away to safety. In the meantime, Weaken down to MLC Stealth all the way on the other side of the map. Ultimate used through space and time there. Andy, he's going to do what he can to Allied. Moving forward to Jeff Handler. They want to get something in return here, but there is still that Fire Giant buff. Remember, Allied getting a lot of HP while he's floating up in that Valkyrie's Discretion ultimate. Kiki, he's blocked in, and he should be dead. No, death from below just in time. Through the wall, maybe. No, they're going to blow their spells, and nicely baited there out of MLC. Or no, it's Baskin that goes through. I'm sorry, yep. Baskin moving forward. He being the tanky target makes sense. They're trying to chip away here at the tower, not getting much as Barracuda was looking for the flank as well. Cloud9, they're starting to peter out here. They're not going to be able to continue this aggression, and now they may get turned on. Incon moving forward. Cyclone Spin's ported back into the tower, using their abilities to try to get away, and the speed from Giannis should be enough. But Cloud9, Have they thrown here? Is this enough for AFK to? I mean, let's take a look at the graphs real quick. How much gold do they have to? It's 8,000 gold. I mean, they can take the rest of the towers on the map and get this back pretty quickly. Take the Gold Fury as well with a Fire Giant buff. Cloud9 has just made this game very hard for themselves.
Yeah, right now the game is dead even. That huge gold lead and experience lead that they had worked on for 29 minutes, they've just basically, they haven't given it back yet, but with the Fire Giant buff ticking, AFK Gaming can fight on even toes with him.
Yeah, the ball's rolling now.
You know, the extra 50 physical power, extra 70 magical power, and the 4% regen is going to be huge. I mean, and it's going to be hard, especially because most of these fights have been very extended. That Fire Giant buff going to be healing up a lot during these fights, and you know, we're starting to see the level 20s come across for AFK finally, and with this Fire Giant buff, they should be able to close the gap.
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, that one was on Jeff. He popped the Amir ultimate just a split second too early, and gave the opening there.
I mean, I think that was Cloud9 as a whole, really. They didn't fully know what they wanted to commit to. They had 4 players zoning, and Barracuda 1v1ing the Fire Giant at like 15% life, and then they finally roamed back. But by that time, Incon was able to just walk in for clean. And was Incon the one who stole it with like Shockwave?
No, I believe it was
Cyclone
Osiris.
Spin?
Yeah, I think it was Lord of the Afterlife got it.
Either way, I mean, Cloud9 definitely dropped that.
And hey, look, maybe this is... I still predict by the end of the split we'll see Hog come back, just because of, I mean, in certain situations, I mean, it's just so good. And if neither team has this really high damage mage, like if the Isis isn't in the game, it's really, really pretty trumped. Anister takes a ton of damage from Kiki as he moves forward. Did Kiki just finish an item? Yeah, the Obsidian Shard comes online for this fight, and you see its impact there. Anister forced back to the base, but he does have his teleport up. Yes, he does indeed. So he'll be going right back. We're seeing the old Athena settle play. But one thing Cloud9's done here is they've done a pretty good job of wasting time for AFK. Fire Giant buff.
Minute left?
Yeah, only a minute left. So they've done a pretty good job here. And Jeff, once again, Incon going to put him into combat. No blink available.
Does he really want to defend this, though? I mean, I don't know if this Gold Fury is worth it at this point.
Actually,
yeah, because
all of
Cloud9 wants
they
to
have
fight.
everything. They got the Nidus Canal from MLC Stealth to pull them forward. Gold Fury, she's sitting about 3,000 HP, but the fight's still continuing on the backside. Weaken and Barracuda going at it. One hit here. Yes, the big poison proc coming out. It's enough. And the crit again. Down will go Barracuda, and this fight's starting to turn back for AFK. Anister finds himself in an awkward position. It's just a Giannis on the backside. He's the only real damage potential left as Andy does go down. And ultimately, AFK does take down the Gold Fury, but still a lot of time wasted on their side. Well, I'll say wasted. They netted 4 kills now, but a lot of time spent securing that Gold Fury and that fight, but they're going to be perfectly happy to walk away with their 4 kills. And let's go back to the graphs, where it's going to start painting a sadder and sadder story if you're a Cloud9 fan. Under 6,000 gold now in their lead.
Yeah,
experience starting to drop as well.
We're going to see this Tier 1 and Tier 2 taken. Maybe the Tier 2 in mid. They should have the time to get that, and that should basically even up the game. And I mean, Cloud9, though, they elect to fight into that Gold Fury, fight into the Fire Giant after they have done such a superb job of wasting time. But they take the fight and they lose it. I mean, Kiki has been doing so much damage. He actually had a 3-man Pillar of Agony at the Gold Fury, locking so many players in place and just doing so much damage. I mean, right now, Kiki has a huge amount of damage, even with that Breastplate of Valor.
They're doing about 500 damage a second here to the Gold Fury. And they'll be able to take her down in short order. You know, the penetration items really helping out here. Is the Spear of the Magus done on Allied? As we see, yeah, the chart's starting to get there. So, yeah, that really helping out. The Hades, the Obsidian Shard, plus the Spear of the Magus there, and now the Void Stone as well for Hades. Both of those gods hitting very, very hard. I'm going to call for it. I'm calling for the Pythag 6th item on Kiki here. In this game for sure.
I mean, I think it's a smart pickup. I mean, Incon, well, he doesn't do a ton of damage. It's going to help him, but really it's that extra, that aura lifesteal that he's going to be giving to Allied that's going to be huge, because Allied, he hasn't gone the Bancroft's Talon that we've seen a lot of Freya's elect to go, so he doesn't have that extra lifesteal outside of his built-in lifesteal, and I think that extra little bit should keep him alive and allow him to take a little bit more poke.
Looks like Cyclone has finished off his chin size now into this next engagement, and has the Shield of the Underworld as well. So the Osiris DPS has just gone up quite a bit here against the Hades and the Geb. Magus Blessing removed. Nice and easy there. By the Thor wall. You can see it's a little bit of a poke war now. Positioning. Back and forth. They're going to counter ward each other.
You can just feel it in the teams. I mean, before Cloud9 was the one holding Fire Giant, being very aggressive, and now you can just feel the momentum. You can see the momentum turned. AFK Gaming, they're the ones sitting in the middle of the Fire Giant pit, and Cloud9 the ones a little bit wary. I mean, the game is dead even right now. No team has Fire Giant. A 2,000 gold difference, that's nothing, and almost everyone is level 20 across the board.
34 minutes now. This has been a long dance.
It's going to be very important for Cloud9 to make sure that Weekend can't 1v1 Barracuda again. I mean, that was really a big detriment to the team, and they can't get locked in place by Kiki's Pillar of Agony either, and we're actually going to see Barracuda
Yeah,
back.
Cloud9 calling the whole thing off. He's right under an AFK ward. They know now. Zarkett falling back as well, and looks like the teams have just decided, you know what, let's just call the war off. Well, we'll all go home and watch movies.
What movie are they going to watch?
The Shawshank Redemption.
Could be fun.
It's a good movie.
MLC Stealth going to get this red buff. This is actually very important this late into the game. You actually could see his power jumped from 440 to 560. That percentage is just so much more useful the later the game goes. And he's actually going to be backing here, and I'm electing... Oh, no, he's going to go Book of Toth or Soul Reaver.
No, he already has the Toth. It's
Soul Reaver?
It's Soul Reaver. Reliquary on its way.
That's a huge burst. I mean, Unstable Vortex already does a huge amount of damage at base. Add on to that 15%.
Look at Bologna. She's got a buckler. Could it be, Kevin? Are we going to see the Runic Shield built in competitive play?
It's a possibility.
Yeah, I mean, it's Magical Witchstone, basically. Magic Aura reduction and attack speed reduction.
I mean, against...
Nope. It's going to be a... Wait, are we going to see a Void Blade picked up?
I forgot what this builds into.
I think it's Runic Shield.
I haven't seen... Is it Runic Shield?
I think so. Ankile builds off of this item as well, but I can't imagine it's going to be that at this stage. That's much more of an early game item.
Yeah, this is going to be the one that reduces attack speed.
Yeah, that's right. Runic Shield.
Yeah,
attack
it's the
power.
20% attack speed reduction, as well as the, I think, 50 flat magical power.
That's correct.
Which is really big against really allied here. Weekend going to blink in. He's going to miss. He's actually going to get frozen out, but a Geb Shield in response going to save Weekend.
The Stone Shield says no, thank you. My oh my, Adonis, this one has just hit a brick wall. I mean, neither team is really willing to commit at this point. They're just looking for that pick. They're looking for that little edge to get in and find something extra. Incon, going to put out about 200 solid damage there on that rollout. Happy with that, I'm sure.
Any amount of damage is going to be important, especially when he already has a good amount of HP 5.
No, yeah, I mean, it's... You know, anything could be the opening they need. Hinla, if he blows the freeze here, they got to commit. He's going to be able to get 2. Yes, indeed. Here they come. AFK, though, with a counter initiation. It's just Hef Hinla. He's on an island now. Kiki moving forward. There's a silence onto 1. Baskin's going to try to get to the backside with the Heavenly Agility and force out Weak, and he'll be able to do that for now.
And it's the
left side of that fight, MLC Stealth. He's stunned as he makes it through the portal, and Allies right on top of him. Kiki's here as well. Can they take down Stealth? Can they get him? Yes, they can. To the sky goes Allied. They'll get 1. Barracuda falls as well. His cooldowns were gone, and Kiki just walks under him with the Pillar of Agony. Baskin's going to fall as well. He spreads the poison. It's a dream for Weekend. He's going to move forward. He's going to find Andy. Can he dash through and get the kill? Doesn't matter. I think that's enough for AFK to just force their way into the base. 3 members down for a minute. They're going to find a 4th in Hinla. And yes, it looks like this one's going to be all over. All but the song of the dance. Yes, the Lord of the Afterlife does let you walk through player-made walls. And Cyclone Spin showing that one off there. Annenster and Jeff Hinla. Sad, I'm sure, about the interaction of that ability. And once more to the graph side. And it's all downhill from Cloud9. Unfortunately, here looks like AFK. Do they have enough time still? I think they do. Maybe not. Maybe they'll just go back for Fire Giant. Oh, come on, boys. You could have won, I believe.
It would have been pretty close, but they're not going to elect to do it. They're all level 20. It could have been a possibility.
Pillar of Agony comes back off.
Not worth the throw. A couple players spawning in about 15 seconds here. I think that was the correct decision.
Where's your sense of adventure, Kevin?
I mean, it's very important to get first seed. You want to have first seed going to the regionals.
When you're right, you're right.
Every single game is going to be important here. They will face this team once again. These teams will face off once again, but in the final week of the fall split, so they're not going to see them for quite some time. Maybe want to get an early edge here. But Cloud9, once again, they got split from the fight, and Stealth just got bursted down. I mean, Kiki able to stack a little bit of Blight onto Cloud9 and then detonate it for a huge amount of damage.
I just want Baskin to finish off this item, so I know what it is. It's almost definitely going to be the Runic Shield.
It is Runic Shield. It's a 20% attack speed, a little bit of magical protection. Is that a breastplate coming out from Allied?
Yeah, yes. Yes, it is. That should be a breastplate of valor.
Cooldown reduction doesn't give him any health, but I don't think he thinks that the 300 health.
No, that's Steel Mail.
Will save him. Oh, okay, so that's going to be Midgardian?
Nemean, maybe?
Midgardian or Nemean?
Nemean, I think. And there's the Pythags coming out for Mr. So Cheeky.
Going to give a little bit of magical lifesteal and power aura to Allied. And Incon.
So, okay, I'm with it. Hey, Runic Shield's done. The SMITE sleuths have figured it out. Yeah, you know, it's okay. I think Pythag's piece kind of maybe substitutes a little bit for that last damage item Ally could have gone for, so we might as well go for something a bit more defensive. No, it was Mid-Guardian. So ton of HP going the way of Freya. Ally feeling pressured a bit too much, but to be honest with you, Fatalis, Spear, Rod, Demonic Rip, you don't really need any more damage.
No, and I think the big thing with this Mid-Guardian male pickup is it's going to slow the players trying to lock him down. I mean, Barracuda's attack speed, movement speed going to be slowed down, Anister's going to be slowed down, and Baskin's going to be slowed down, and that's the thing, right? In conjunction with his own slow, it's going to be very hard for these players to fight into Allied.
Yeah, I think in a lot of ways he was just
it's gonna
tired of getting dove by Weekend.
Yeah, it's going to be on to stealth to really try and lock down Allied here in this fight. And he's not going to have the best time of simply diving a Freya who's sitting in at the back line of the other team.
Well, the AFK trains are rolling here. They're going to pressure into the middle Phoenix with the Fire Giant buff on the left side. It's going to be Weekend. Incon, yeah, we're going to ride along with him. You got to think he's going to be the one that's going to start this one off. It's either him or Jeff Hinla. Who can find the initiation first? Giannis comes through the Phoenix. Incon biding his time with his Magi's Blessing. Fire Giant buff still going to be available for another couple minutes. They got plenty of time. 90 seconds to be exact now. Here comes the initiation. Incon is going to find two of the Cataclysm. Off to the side goes MLC Stealth, and they're going to move forward with the two frontliners, and Jeff and Baskin are going to try to hold them out. Barracuda already forced out. He can't heal up in the well until that poison is off, so even more time going to be wasted. Down will go Weekend to Anister's counter initiation. Nicely done there. Incon quite low as well. The shell going to come out, and they're going to move forward as Cloud9.
This is good for C9.
And they find anybody. No, they've held them out for now. I don't think they re-engaged. I think they're happy with holding their Phoenix and trying to farm with the map a little bit, push these lanes out, and fight another day.
Yeah, Fire Giant going to be falling off of AFK, and just under a minute, they're going to take the one pick, 1 for 0, and they're actually going to push up. They need to be a little bit careful here. AFK could look to bait them, but it is a 4-on-5, probably not a fight they want to take, and nope, and they're just going to run back into their base, and Cloud9 should be able to get this tower.
Well, we'll see. Death from below is down, so no initiation coming for the moment from Kiki. The blink is still down from Geb, I believe. No, it's back online, so Geb can move in at any moment here. Jeff Hinla's going to be the one to go under tower. They're going to fight this out under tower as Cloud9. And Kiki with a great ultimate is going to hold Baskin right in place and force out the ultimate. Allied takes down Barracuda in the backside. It looks like Baskin's going to fall as well. Jeff, he's in some trouble. MLC Stealth, he gets silenced out, and that's Kiki's target. Devour Souls is enough. So much damage out of that Hades, and he really is going to end up turning this one, I think, completely on its head.
Yeah, another triple kill coming up from Allied here. Incon, he's going to try and chase down Anister, but it doesn't even matter. With everyone but Anister dead, it's unlikely that C9 can defend their Titan once again.
Incon going to push Anister out of the way, say, we get your Phoenix. 4 members down for 40 seconds. This time I do believe AFK is going to make their way into the base. Although their clear is not the most exciting thing in the world.
Yeah, Allied, though, he should be able to shred right through this. Anister's actually going to take to the sky. He's going to try and lock down Allied, who's doing the most damage, but a great Aegis actually going to immune that out, and now the Titan, it's below 50%. Anister's trying to do his best, but he's not going to be able to hold it out. And AFK Gaming, they're going to take game 2, and they're going to take the set clean, 2-0.
One more kill on a Kiki before that one goes down, and, well, Allied, he's probably your player of the game, but in my heart, it's Kiki. He played a very, very impressive Hades. Well, speaking of Kiki so cheeky, we have a wonderful clip for you guys.
Is this where he died to Fire Giant in the
first
first
it must
game?
be. Let's take a look at Kiki.
I really hope
Not
it
your
is.
first blood, but yeah.
Ah, there we go.
It's the slow-mo of Kiki. Not so cheeky today,
You can just see the regret.
Yeah.
He's just like, oh, I'm done. And then Allied almost did the same thing.
And